Guys, Mara, how long? How long can we sustain a culture of oppressing people? We're constantly dividing and in permanent conflict, whether it's on political, racial, sexual, tribal, cultural, or gender lines. How long? We're all just human beings trying to survive a very cold world. So why must we constantly highlight those things that separate us to the point where some of you feel the need to physically harm that which does not represent you or threatens your sense of self-worth? What really messes me up is that now we have these names and have attributed conditions to the evil that men do, which to my mind just indoctrinates a culture of apathy. Rape, human trafficking, intent to do grievous bodily harm, stabbed, baby dumping, GBV, etc. These terms have become so much a part of our culture, we've colloquialized them and are therefore not really affected by the gravity of the social ills that are ruining us as a society. South Africa, our sister country, has dedicated the month of August to celebrating women, and their National Women's Day falls on August the 9th. The woke sisters out there started this awesome campaign to protest against the apparent lack of respect African men have for the lives of its women, and organized the women of Southern Africa to express themselves on the treatment of women with the Total Shutdown Against GBV. Women in participating countries will literally make their lack of presence felt, and local women's activist, editor, journalist, filmmaker, and ride or die homie Alna Dall formed part of the organizing team for Namibia's participation. Check this out.
It's a big thing. South Africa, Lesotho, Botswana, they are planning on shutting down their countries on the 1st of August. All the women, all the gender non-conforming people. There's a closed group on Facebook. I think it's got a membership of 300,000 women. So it's a big thing. Now, our statistics don't look as bad as theirs. So I don't think we're at a stage where we have to call for a total shutdown. So we will simply be marching in solidarity, but we'll also take the opportunity to talk to the authorities and protection services about really sustaining safe spaces for women and victims of gender-based violence. First, let me quickly tell you about the other countries, what things look like at the moment there. In South Africa, a woman gets killed every 8 hours by an intimate partner. Lesotho, I think they experience something like 68% of the women in their country have experienced GBV in their lifetimes. South Africa, it's 50%. So these are quite grave statistics.
Women around the continent have been fighting a never-ending battle for equality in a male-dominated world since time immemorial. Our efforts during times of strife, whilst maintaining households and nurturing generations of human beings, have gone quite unappreciated, and it is time for us to claim our rightful place in society. I believe that men have always been wary of this power that women possess and have successfully oppressed and patronized us to the point where the United Nations felt the need to celebrate International Women's Day, which is commemorated annually on March the 8th. We've had global movements, hashtags, and thought-provoking campaigns to illustrate the plight of women and children in this world, to no avail.
What we're going to do is twofold. We are going to celebrate the lives of the victims that have been lost to GBV this year, the lives that have been lost. This year, well, actually since 2015, we'll be having a silent march from Katutura State Hospital, past the Katutura Police Station to the High Court. We'll also take the opportunity, I've spoken to the ministers already, most of them have promised me to send representatives where we can hand over memorandums of recommendation, like the Women and Child Protection Unit has been falling apart. This is not something we don't know about. The way police treat victims and the further trauma that they have to go through when they open a case. So these are the type of things we want to talk about. I think if you felt that your hands have been cut off and you see somebody's life that has been gravely affected by gender-based violence and you didn't know what to do, now you can do something. Come and march with us. We're not going to make a lot of noise. We're simply walking. And if you can't make it to the march, it's 10 a.m. at Katutura Hospital, Wednesday the 1st of August. Wear red, white and black. Post it to social media with the hashtag Total Shutdown. Let's break the silence over the violence and end the violence through breaking the silence.
Rapper Maimouna Youssef's bars in a track she did with August Green featuring Common and Robert Glasper, amongst others, as part of the Tiny Desk concerts, which feature on YouTube, spat the following bars which really opened my eyes. Just listen to this.
Sometimes being a woman's like being black twice. I gotta scream fire instead of rape, but you tell me to act nice. Look pretty, stay slim, don't talk loud. Don't think, don't feel, don't act proud. But if I'm at my lowest, how you 100%? God made woman and man for the balance of it. So will the real men please please stand up and defend what God made. Signing off for love.
Dope, right? Have another listen.
Sometimes being a woman's like being black twice. I gotta scream fire instead of rape, but you tell me to act nice. Look pretty, stay slim, don't talk loud. Don't think, don't feel, don't act proud. But if I'm at my lowest, how you 100%? God made woman and man for the balance of it. So will the real men please stand up and defend what God made? Signing off for love.
Up next, it's our resident voice of the people in Cecilia Says.
What must we do to stop this violence on women? When you read the newspaper, it's a woman was raped. When you page the next page, a man killed his girlfriend, a man raped a lady, a man raped a kid. What's going on? We have to do something about this killing and this violence going in our country. We are tired of being killed because we are the mother of these countries.
Fact. Women are the backbone of society, and I'm very curious to see what the effect of this protest will be. A young Namibian woman, Rebecca Kamanda, expressed her dissatisfaction with the treatment of her mother at the Katutura State Hospital last week and decided to write an open letter to the president and rally Namibians to demand more for their contribution to the tax pool, which government is supposed to use to better the life of its citizens. Check this out.
So I called the city of Windhoek ambulance. They were close to where she was staying, which is in Okuriangava. And they were able to get there within 15 minutes, which is very fast, actually. So I applaud them on that. They got there within 15 minutes. They took her in and rushed her to the Katutura State Hospital. Now, upon arriving, that must have been round about before 11 o'clock in the morning on Monday. When they got there, she was quickly rushed to the X-rays division. So when they got there, by the X-rays, they waited for over 7 hours until I eventually knocked off. So it takes one about 30 minutes from where I work to go to the state hospital. When I got there, it was already past 6 o'clock in the evening. And by the sight of my mother, when I got there, she was in her own vomit. Nobody had assisted to help her, clean her, nothing. And she was actually there with my stepfather, and he kept asking them for help throughout their wait there. And they reportedly just yelled back at him and said that, you know, we have other patients that we're busy with, so you're just gonna have to wait. Fine. So when I got there, I was incredibly frustrated. I mean, this is my mother we talk about. You don't just manufacture a new mother. If she's gone, she's gone. So I demanded to speak to any of the staff members that are there at the Katutura State Hospital to just find out what is going on. Why does an emergency patient have to wait for well over 7 hours in line on the stretch out bed? When I got there, there was nobody by reception to assist me. Eventually, the receptionist came out. I asked her if the doctors were in by any chance. Are they maybe out? Is the shift done? Because my mom's been here for well over 7 hours, unassisted or unattended. And she said, well, they're inside and they'll get to it when they get to it. That's really how they tend to everybody there. So this was nothing new to me. That has happened before.
Her ordeal didn't end there.
So she asked what my mom's name was so she can go and see if my mother's card, the hospital card, was with the doctors. So I gave her the name. She went back in, took for probably about 15 minutes, and then she came out and she said, well, her card is in there and she'll be attended to eventually. And my stepfather said, but there have been people here that got here after us and they've been attended to. And as you can see, the entire X-ray division is packed. There are people literally lying on the floor because they're in pain. So what's going on? Is there anybody really that's going to tend to us? So I started raising my voice so that somebody can be offended enough to come out and address me. And there was, I'm not sure if I should call her a nurse, but she was the lady that works in the X-ray department. She came out and she addressed me very rudely and said that they're doing the best that they can, but if we don't like it there, we can go elsewhere. While I was exchanging words with her and her colleagues, I decided to take out my phone and document the footage, because that's what I always see people do. They take pictures and videos so they can have proof, you know, supporting their claims. So when I did that, they called the NDF. Now, I'm not sure if the NDF came from their camp somewhere, or if there were special NDF soldiers that were already there guarding the hospital, but there were 3 NDF officers that were sent to me to ask me to delete all of the footage that I've taken because it's illegal. If I do not do so or comply, they'll arrest me. So I said, okay, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't even have a record to date. As long as they can quote or tell me when the Constitution it states that this is illegal, in Article B of Section A it says this and that, we have a deal, I'll delete it. They couldn't even do that. They asked me to go outside because I wouldn't comply. And I guess what they meant by that is that they're gonna arrest me outside because they didn't want to have to do it within the facilities. And my mother, having witnessed that, she was already frustrated and distraught. She just wanted me to comply with them. So she sent my stepdad to just tell me to comply because she doesn't want me to be arrested. This is not anything new. This is old news, whereas the Katutura State Hospital is concerned. And it's not just the Katutura State Hospital, it's the Central Hospital, it's public government clinics within Windhoek, and also in other parts of the country. I've had so many complaints because I took this story, posted it on my social media, and it's still going viral until today, and because I had newspaper outlets reach out and ask if they can publish the article that I posted, and they did. And I have also written to the Office of the First Lady and the Office of the President. Obviously, the Office of the First Lady responded, and they said they'd get back to me within 5 working days. That's what they said to me today. But the point of the matter is that this is what we face, and what anybody that cannot afford medical aid, this is what they face on a day-to-day basis.
I spoke to the Ministry of Health about these allegations, and crickets. It's a Wrap's new correspondent, Sibu, took to the streets of the capital to gauge public sentiment on the state of our public hospitals. Check this out.
What I feel about the services is that they need to improve on the way they help the patients. They need to be a little bit more faster, as they are so slow, and then the patients have to wait for longer hours. What was of concern is that some patients, they are in too much pain, yet there is no help to say that the ones that are in too much pain can enter freely, like a notice that says you can enter when you feel that you can't control your pain. I don't know, the building is clean. It's only that sometimes the toilets are not so clean.
They really don't care about patients. Even if they see the person is bleeding, they'll help the person that came earlier on. Katutura Hospital, it doesn't work at all. They should try to be friendly, try to assist, help the people that are really in need, like people that are stabbed or emergency. They cannot leave people lying on the bed, seeing dying, and then they help patients that really can still wait. So they should improve, really. Even the cleanliness, it's very dirty. They really don't care. Even the receptionist, if you go there and you ask them, where should I go for the medicine? They just have attitudes. So I don't know, I really don't know.
Our ability as women to flip the script on our challenges has made an activist out of Rebecca. Just look.
And we all know health is wealth. So if you want a country with citizens that are hardworking and earn their own honest living, they should be healthy in order to do so. So if the government is not looking into the importance of the health of the poor, which makes up over 80% of the labor within Namibia, then where do we stand a chance to make an honest living for ourselves, to be able to provide for ourselves without having to ask for help from others, which is indignifying at the end of the day. So I decided to start a campaign which is called NAFA. And what NAFA actually is the Namibian Public Health Care Association, whereas we aim to walk towards raising awareness of the poor public health care service within our country. And each and every working person is paying tax at the end of the day. This tax is supposed to be allocated into public health facilities and healthcare in order to cater to us. This is our money. We have a say as to what is done or how our money is being spent at the end of the day. Not for the expensive, I think they're Mercedes-Benz that all government officials drive. They're lovely, by the way. I'm pretty sure everybody's enjoying the AC in there. But we have to walk at the end of the day. Any person that can only afford public health care has to take a taxi very early in the morning to go, only to sit and wait in a cold waiting room for hours on end. And as if that's not enough, we have to, once we get treated or we get help from the doctor, we're sent to the pharmacy and we have to wait for well over 4 hours in order to get our medication. And if we're lucky, we'll get it. If not, they'll tell us to come back tomorrow. That's another day wasted. My mom has been in the hospital for over 4 days. She was discharged on Saturday last week. And when they discharged her, they told her she'll have to come on Monday to get the medication because they're out of stock. And the medication my mom takes is chronic medication, so she cannot miss a day. She has to take it every day. So a day skipped or missed is a threat on its own. So when she got there this morning with my brother, they said, no, they haven't received stock yet. We should perhaps try tomorrow. That is unacceptable, to say the least. It's inhumane. If the president is not offended, I would like to say to him and all the government officials and all the people, all the leaders of this country, that the people are offended and the people cannot speak for themselves. But the people have educated children that can speak on their behalf. And that's what I'm here to do.
A few weeks ago, It's a Wrap reported on social activist Monica Nambelela's occupation of a government flat following a 4-year-long battle with the Ministry of Works and Transport to be allocated a government flat. Check this out.
We got a locksmith to break, and he broke. We put our things there, and then we realized that there is no electricity. I went to the municipality to find out why the electricity was cut off. And it was cut off by the instruction of the Ministry of Works, because the lady who stayed here, she passed on early in the year, and they were trying to evict her children. So the easiest way to evict was to put this flat, it's on the system of the municipality. It says there are illegal tenants in it.
Here's an update on her situation.
I've been here for 10 weeks without electricity, and my children have survived the coldest winter. And as a mother, you always make sure that your children are provided with. So that cold winter, I had a very bad lung infection as a result, because the floor, it's tiles, it's very cold, and I couldn't, I don't have electricity, can't keep myself warm, can't drink coffee. At times I can't cook for the children. The PS wrote a note that I should be assisted on humanitarian grounds, and after 10 weeks Miss Black was still the one that is in the housing committee, the one that she is the one that allocates. After 10 weeks I've walked to her office several times. The other time she shut the door in my face and said, I'm not seeing you, just go. And then I decided, let me go to the legal clinic of the Legal Assistance Center. And the Legal Assistance Center hence wrote them a letter asking why they are not acting on the instruction of the PS, because the permanent secretary, who has the deciding power at Works, he wrote a note that I need to be assisted. I need to be, they need to allocate me a government flat as soon as possible, based on humanitarian grounds. And then thereafter, my ministry also pleaded, because my ministry knows my situation. I'm the only one working in my family. My money is sustaining basically everybody else who has a dream of going to school or going to university. So my ministry pleaded with the Ministry of Works to solve this problem as soon as possible. I've been going back and forth to the ministry until the last time when I was in the office, I looked like, I had a blackout. I couldn't see properly, and I almost fell and looked like a zombie. When I went to the doctor, it was a lung infection. When I went to the PS yesterday, PS of Works, he said, yeah, you made a case against us, so you are on your own now, because now your legal assistance center can help you. I told him, but I didn't make a case. It's not a case. It's just, I just went to the legal clinic to seek a legal opinion. And it's not the first time. You know, a few weeks ago, we were told by the secretary that, yeah, if you dare to go to the ombudsman or you go to any lawyers, you will lose the case. They will not consider giving you a government allocated flat because you have kind of like gone your own way. They want us to be patient. They will give you at your own pace. Here I don't understand, you know. It's just, they've just cut off electricity. Electricity is it's a prepaid service. Whoever is in a legal battle with government over accommodation, let them get electricity, and the person fights his or her fight in the courts of the country.
It's a Wrap made several attempts to contact Mrs. Black, and crickets.
The situations of Monica as a ministry, we are aware of it. When she has been, of course, coming to the ministry, just like any other civil servant, she was not the only one. But hers becomes more visible in the sense that, you know, let's say every week or every day of the week she's here. I spoke to Ms. Black myself. I said, tell me, because I must tell you, the day before yesterday we were discussing already these attitudes of our members within the ministry, and she was also part of that meeting. And she said, look, whether, as far as I'm concerned, I explained to Monica again and again, and that's the same thing of what I did when she was here the last time. I did not overreact, you know. I did not do anything to her. I just told her that we will not be able to assist her because of the category that she is currently falling under or in. Previously, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, people, whether now you as a director or as a deputy director, the people used to occupy government properties or houses. And some of these people, if we would have really started from the word go, with coming up with the new measures that we are trying to introduce or to put in place now, to say, look, you are a director, get out of the government house, go and purchase a house for yourself, and we put the lower categories of employees to occupy these houses, and if they are going to, and also to be given offer to buy these houses, because these are the people who cannot afford to purchase a plot or a house in some of these suburbs that we have in Windhoek here, or flats for that matter. Now you will find it's a deputy director or a director or a PS or a deputy PS. These are the people who are occupying these houses, or most of them, they bought them anyway. That is now, it has passed. We don't want to go back. This is now what we are saying as a ministry. We are not going to provide accommodations to people who are part of the management cadres anymore. And those who are currently occupying these properties, they must get this message. They are going to be informed. Those who know, well, we have informed a number of them to leave these properties, because some came here even looking for offer, and we refused as a Minister of Works and Transport for them to purchase these properties, because really it's really unfair. You have a housing subsidy, I mean subsidy or whatever benefits for you, and you want to live in, for example, in a flat. It's really unfair. We have realized that, well, it has been done. A mistake has been done, wrongdoing was being done, and we are here now to correct some of these mistakes.
Monica believes that women are being oppressed by the system.
It's disheartening to know that they would do it to the weakest of our weakest in our society, it's women, and that they are exposing children who are so young to the realities of a social system that does not work. Because if their kids can't go to school, if they get sick, and I believe that government property, irregardless, we need to solve the housing shortage, because it's not created by us. The last plots that were serviced in Katutura were 10, and it was 10 years ago. You go deep into the hood, even police officers can no longer afford to afford the rent.
Stay woke with It's a Wrap every Friday night at 8 o'clock on One Africa TV, on channel 284 on DSTV, channel 90 on GoTV, and 301 on NBC. And subscribe to It's a Wrap with Erica Gebhardt on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook and Insta.